U.S. President Donald Trump is struggling to deliver on his #1 poll promise. Mass deportations, legal obstacles and a shortage of funds have made it harder than anticipated for the Trump administration to follow through. U.S. President has now come up with a new plan: self-deportation for $1,000. As Trump's big, beautiful budget undergoes tough negotiations in Congress, his administration has launched a new initiative encouraging voluntary departure. Under the program announced by the Department of Homeland Security, migrants who choose to leave the U.S. on their own will receive $1,000 to cover travel costs.
We thought we'd do is a self-deport, where we're going to pay each one a certain amount of money, and we're going to get them a beautiful flight back to where they came from, and they have a period of time.
Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, has asked Congress for more money to execute the large-scale deportations. He estimates the total cost at $86 million. Even though Republicans support funding the president's core immigration agenda, they have yet to agree on what spending to cut in order to make room for the mass deportation plan, all while also trying to fund Trump's push to extend his 2017 tax cuts. Despite so much noise around deportations, Trump's administration has deported fewer people than the Biden administration did during the same period last year. From January to April 2025, that's this year, about 152,000 people were deported under Trump. In comparison, the Biden administration deported 195,000 people between February and April in 2024. In a fresh blow to Trump's efforts to reshape America's immigration policy, a U.S. district judge has ordered the administration to admit 12,000 refugees who had been pre-approved for entry. Trump had earlier issued an executive order halting refugee admissions. An appeals court upheld the order, but ruled that refugees who had already received approval to enter the U.S. prior to Trump's inauguration must still be allowed in. The government says it will permit entry to refugees who are scheduled to arrive within 2 weeks of the order. The timeline, the district judge says, is not mentioned in the appeals court order. Let's now talk to our correspondent Susan Teherani, who is now joining us live from New York. Susan, good to see you. Has Trump run out of ideas when it comes to his immigration policy?
No. The reason that we're seeing less deportations is because there are less people now coming across the border. And also the $1,000 incentive, and basically the Department of Homeland Security acting as a travel agency that's even willing to help these people go back to their countries with their flights and bookings and stuff, is because in order to deport each and every one of them, it would cost the taxpayer $17,000 a person. And can you just imagine, with the millions that have crossed the border during the Biden administration, how much that would be? And also there's the issue of, holding court hearings for these individuals. The system wasn't meant to hold court hearings for these many illegals inside the United States. That was when, the situation was a lot more normal. So on the one hand, while the Trump administration isn't running out of ideas when it comes to deportations and immigration, it is running out of money and resources. And that's something that Tom Homan alluded to. So it's the cost measure that is concerning for the Trump administration right now as it tries to fulfill its promise on the one hand, and whether or not that bill, as you mentioned, can get passed in Congress and lawmakers will be on their side to give them more money. I mean, Border Patrol itself, just the cost is astronomical to try to get this ambitious immigration policy out of the way in the first 100 days and moving forward as well.
All right, let's see how this beautiful flight, according to Trump, will turn out. That is Susan Teherani. Thank you, Susan. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.